Hawkesbury River from the train station. Ya. Hari ini kita mau cruise ya dari Hawkesbury River ke Patonga. Ini lagi di station, mau nungguin temen. Nanti temen mau kemana? Nih, lagi ada di Hawkesbury River ya. Kita hari ini mau cruise ke Hawkesbury River. Tuh rombongan sudah sampai. Postman. Nih, rombongan sudah sampai, rombongan dari oh, lagi ya, Linda. Halo. Yuk. Kita bagus ya.
Iya, bagus. Belum video.
Nih.
Terus pemandangan.
Tinggal diminta.
Iya.
Nih rombongan cruise nih. Kita mau cruise. Kita mau cruise hari ini. Kita mau cruise bukannya mau ke Alaska tapi ke
panjang, yang kurang tinggi itunya.
oh itu mah gitu.
Itu lagi kan
Ya.
kelihatan.
Ya. Itu
lapar nggak?
Nanti tadi ngomong apa? Lu siapa yang belum sarapan? Siapa yang belum sarapan?
Siapa yang belum sarapan? Aku bawa kue, 2 macam lagi. Keren.
Servis memuaskan.
Enggak rugi kau kerja sama ini.
Iya.
Lalu
Sama ini
dia tersedia makanan. Iya sih, gitu. Ya, berkat, dapat berkat. Ini lagi nunggu nih, kita lagi nunggu ferry.
Tunggu, bagus, banyak loh ini. Lagi manis. Berapa banyak mau kasih dia?
Banyak juga.
Apa? Cincau.
Cincau,
Iya.
buat.
Ini banyak cabangnya sih. Cabangnya banyak.
Ini Marikan sama Christian dua.
Ya.
Enggak.
Ya.
Morning, sir. Halo.
So we already booked.
No, you don't. We have no bookings.
No.
You can buy a ticket online.
No.
Iya.
Ini masing-masing punya kegiatan kesibukan masing-masing.
Iya, kalau Cina saya masih bisa ngomong.
Oh.
Kalau Jepang saya
Across the bay, the river here, and we discuss the we'll go past the seaside, Point. I did a lot of research on Juno Point, and it was classified as the heritage absorbed about 2 years of my life researching it at West Head. While we're down there, we'll talk about the rendezvous, one of the 5 of the biggest submarines in the world that gathered there in the last days of May in 1942, preparing to attack Sydney. We'll turn around and come back down across Broken Bay and talk about a World War II airfield, which was at when it was going to be let off, or know anything about what was going to happen. So his ship was quite close to the blast when it happened.
Nggak tahu.
This gentleman here is John Unicum. He's who I met a few years ago. They put nets across from Dangar Island to block the river. They didn't work too well because the first flood that came through washed the whole heap of gum trees down and knocked the nets over. They ended up moving the guns from Brooklyn to the other side because they found the guns, if they missed what they were shooting at, they'd probably blow up the cottages on Dangar Island. So they moved it over to Little Wabi. And down here at Juno Point, they had 2 18-pound guns as well. And the reason they had them here is fairly obvious. And we won't happen in this lifetime, but this building would make a really, really great schoolroom to also teach your kids who are doing their sport and something like that. An amazing building. There's retaining walls, there's power poles. One of the other people in the group was a former employee of the Sydney County Council. And the people in control of the minefield would hit a switch depending on which mine they wanted to blow up. The mine would blow up and take the ship that was over the top of it with it. So this is the anchor point. That's the floor of it there, and this is the steel frame. This is the only part of the concrete. It's still got corrugated iron and it had a hardwood roof, half burnt out from the fire, and a slurry over the top of it. And this is how it's another one of the gantries that were built, and you can see there's a chain block hanging from it to build these things. And for some reason there's one piece of gantry still left. It's withstood the white ants and termites and all. So I thought it was worth more. So this is that number 2 lead down from the railway up the horizontal railway up this street. It's supposed to be the brand all down down to the number 2 gun and steps leading up to the back observation post where the railway was. Again, because this site's been so hard to get to, a lot of it is still in really, really good condition. This is inside the back observation post, for instance. They've got the graffiti on the wall. But these are the 2 stands that had the sights on them, and they've still got the army writing, the instructions still written onto them.
The water so green.
Is that?
The water so green. The water so green.
These
are really nice photographs, but the two interesting ones that I like are the 2 bottom ones that are essentially walking along the
almost there. Was a dignitary who came along, and that was that occasion in 1889 was his first call, saying we've now linked these cities in Australia, we need to link the country as a federation, and he called for a federation of Australia. That was before his famous Tenterfield address. And 4 times
with the bowlers was that number one, the axles were also understrength, and they couldn't get in because of things to maintain. They couldn't really, and if you read, engine drivers can be a bit like ferry skippers. They can kill the lily a fair bit, you know, but they reckon that they could fill a bridge rocket and they were taken as really heavy planes. It was easy to build a one. So, some concrete cancer in a couple of some pylons here, but we've been assured that it's all right. But you might notice that if the train is going over, they will pop hurry up and just make sure that we're not under it just in case. So, as we come through, we've just started getting a glimpse of Pitt Island up this route. I was asked to come on board a group called the London Pitt Island Association. That we're up and it's the Aboriginal name for the Hawkesbury River. And we spent a lot of time putting submissions together about the about Pitt Island and what could happen to Pitt Island and being sympathetic between it because of its historical value. Because in 1900 it was actually opened as a hospital for the inebriates from Newcastle. Might be able to take a few photographs of I think the dark is just like So, Federation 1901, there's a huge amount of celebration in relation to the performance of conflict. Where I said, what Swan was first described to me as an old gravel barge. So, they broke their moorings. Swan in 1932. Swan sunk at Little Wabi, where we saw it happen. Somehow this negotiated past the railway bridge, didn't knock it over, and went aground on Wilson Island. It was put forward back into deep water. The mooring later broke in a storm, and it was washed down here on a high tide, and it washed onto the riverbank, and it's back where it then. So it was rendered useless. Since it was born at Berrigan, is described as a steamboat plying on the western coast of the US during the gold rush, particularly in Oregon. Keeps on disappearing from various parts of the world. He was in reappearing places. So whether he was in the midnight or not, I don't know. But anyway, material interactions down. One night, he just plummeted down 30 feet overnight. Nobody in it, fortunately. So I suggested a soft spot in the hut and instead of going down,
As I say, my little thing is you don't stir the locals. We're a visitor.
You just cooperate. What's it really cost?
Lagi menikmati.
Menikmati, lagi menikmati. Bagus ya, senang ya.
Iya bagus.
Rugi ya kalau yang nggak ikut ya.
Iya.
Habis ini kita mau pergi makan.
Iya.
Kita makan
Di mana?
di Wai,
Di
di
restoran
Wai.
Boy-Boy.
Iya.
Boy.
Enak.
Terus kita nanti kita lihat, kita jalan-jalan, kita shopping, terus kita
Iya.
lihat balikan dikasih makan.
Shopping window.
Window shopping.
Iya.
And personally, I've written her.
The cruise finish.
So thank you for coming on. If you're on Facebook,
Landing now, we are landing. Landing.
selamat.
Telah tiba dengan selamat. Arrive safely. Where's that boat too? I want.
Station.
Ya, kita ke train station. Kita semuanya juga mendarat nih, baru sampai nih. Baru sampai.
Samaan waktu.
Baru sampai. Mendarat baru sampai. Baru sampai. Baru sampai.
Iya.
Baru mendarat nih.
Mendarat.